Rolling?
Rolling.
We have TY in the building. What's happening,
Yes.
my boy, man?
I feel good, man.
Doing good today, bro.
Oh yeah, the R&B edition.
Okay, R&B. Oh, what R&B edition, man? So I've only had 4 R&B guests on this show, man.
Okay.
You know, R&B is a style and a genre in Detroit that's very hard to break into.
It is.
And it's very, very hard to put it to the top of what people are listening to in Detroit.
Mhm.
But I think it's more of a mainstream thing and a country thing that if you go worldwide with it or if you go countrywide with it, you have better odds of succeeding. Now, is your target Detroit?
Now my target is the world, man. Like you said, it's really, really hard to do it here. I feel like, as far as rap, I feel like we number one now.
Yeah.
You know, that's my honest opinion. Not to
Yeah.
offend nobody, but I love my city. I love the rappers here, and I feel like we number one. But as far as R&B, I don't even think we on the radar because it's like, and we got so many dope people here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just like I said, just giving a few people their flowers, man. Rashad Morgan, Dre Sconey, Jody, Brielle Leslie, Brian Hamilton, TJ Upshaw, the Black Knight. The list goes on and on.
Yes.
If I forgot some, forgive me. But like we all are like trying to break through, but it's like that shit hard. I don't know why. It's
Yeah.
like people ain't fucking with it right now.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was coming up in the game a little bit, I noticed Motown Ty was one of those dudes who could really sing his ass off, and he really brought good choruses and melodies and
Yeah.
stuff. But even he was on the podcast not too long ago talking about the struggles of getting through as an R&B artist. And I think the wave's gonna come back eventually.
Mhm.
I just think this trap rap stuff and this drill rap is really just taking over right now.
It is.
But your time will come up, boy, as long as you push hard enough.
Yeah.
Talk about yourself a little bit, man. When did you start your music career?
I've been singing since I was 3, man. I got my first major record deal at 16, 2001.
Oh, let's not skip from 3 to 16, man. All right, that's a big gap. But that's like
It
40,
was.
How was that? 13 years, B.
Yeah.
Let's talk about growing up. Where are you from?
I'm from Detroit, originally Puritan Avenue, born and raised. I stayed on Stouple. I was born on Stouple, and then at 3 we moved to Littlefield. So it's like West Side, Puritan Avenue for real, you know. And I just been singing like my whole life. Like my mom put me in talent shows. My grandfather used to have like little talent shows in his basement and shit and outside. And I was just always the one that wanted to sing. I didn't want to do nothing else but sing. So, you know, from there until, like I said, till I got my record deal at 16, I was just doing talent shows, singing around. And at that time, R&B was kind of like still relevant here, you know, because, you know, at that time, rap wasn't doing shit here. So coming up, when I got my deal at 16 with Master P and No Limit, like rap wasn't doing shit. And I think it was mainly because a lot of the labels were like scared of us. I remember going to labels and people asking where I was from, and people would be like, "You like Detroit?" Like, "Oh shit, we ain't fucking with Detroit." And they didn't have no problem saying that. But now they love us. So
What time was that? What year were we talking about here?
that's like 2000, 2001.
2001.
Yeah, they were kind of like nervous of us still.
Wait, you're talking about you were in 2001? You were at this point where they were saying, "Wait, man, how old are you?"
I'm 36.
What the fuck, bro?
Yeah.
I literally thought this guy was like 23 years old.
No.
Bro, I swear to God, I literally thought this guy was like fucking my age or some shit. Like,
nah.
all right, shit, damn. What the fuck?
Yeah. I'm 36.
Your mind
man.
blown, goddammit. Damn. Okay.
Plot twist.
Jesus Christ, this is crazy. Yeah. Okay. So we have a lot to talk about then, man, because you grew up through all of this shit.
Yeah.
Let's. I know I want to get into signing the deal and all those major accomplishments, but I still want to get into Detroit and growing up in Detroit a little bit.
Right.
What was your life like growing up in Detroit?
Shit, we grew up in the slums, man. So like, I was just like any other kid, just, you know, going to school or whatever. My mom and my dad was like heavy in the streets. So for me, it was just like, I knew what not to do and I knew what to do. You know, our family, you know what I'm saying, we got a pretty good name, like, you know, in the streets, if I got to say that. But shit, we just stayed out the way, you know. Definitely lost a lot of friends coming up, getting into dumb shit, selling dope, doing all types of shit, because everybody was trying to, you know, chase the American dream, trying to get out the slums. And Puritan is hard. Shit.
Yeah,
it still is hard. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of people come on here and they mention that street, and I mean, I'm not familiar with it, but I never hear like the positive side of it.
Right. I mean, if you're from there, like, you know what time it is. Like, it's love over there, but it's fucked up too. Like, you know, you want to get out of there because it's not pretty over there at all.
So when you're young, you automatically, it was in your mind, I'm going to become some type of artist or become in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, like I knew I didn't want to like sell dope or do anything like that. Like, and that was like, you know, it was all around me. Like I said, from my parents and then, you know, my sister, cousins, like everybody was just streets. I knew I didn't want to do that.
Yeah. And so did they in any way put you in like the outcast section at all, or were you still in the mix as far as like?
I was still in the mix because of my family. But I mean, yeah, definitely if I'm wanting to go to the studio and sing and shit and everybody wanted to stay outside and look fresh and hustle and drive the freshest cars and shit, like, yeah, just a little bit outcast. Not really from my family, but just from, you know, people in the neighborhood.
What time? So what year is that when you're growing up in Detroit? Like when you're that young and you're deciding that.
When I'm that young and deciding, that's like 96, 97, 98. I'm still young. I'm a little boy.
Okay.
My sister graduated from Cooley High. Shout out Cooley in 97. So I'm still young, you know, and just trying to, you know, come up through the ranks or whatever. Shit, my sister was fresh as hell. You know, when I was younger, I wanted to be like my sister. She kept the freshest shoes, the freshest jackets. You feel what I'm saying? Like that was, my sister was like my idol. That's what I wanted to be like.
What was Detroit rap like at that time? Like being a youngster and just what were the sounds coming out? What was going on?
Man, that was Esham. Shit. What's my man name that passed away? Wayne? MC Bree. Shout out Bree. Rest in peace. Jay Dilla was still young, but I guess he was kind of on the come up, right? He was moving. Yeah. So, you know, Jay Dilla, Esham, MC Breed, Royce. Royce is a legend. M, but it was more so underground. Big Proof. Proof is my cousin, actually, by the way.
Oh, cool.
So, you know, just shit. It was definitely underground because, like I said, they weren't giving us no shine.
Yeah.
Like the real labels, like they were like nervous of us. Like the record with Blade, Icewood, God bless the dead, and he said like they offered him $1 million, and he like, I already made $1 million. Like, so what you know? So when you got people from Detroit saying that shit, the label's like, well, we ain't fucking with Detroit then. If y'all, you know what I'm saying, if y'all good, shit, y'all straight then. But it was like after a while, we needed to get in.
Wow, man. Wow. I just feel like you have so much rich history in this. This is like, I'm so glad you're here right now. I feel like we're going to open up a lot of doors for people to understand some things here. So, growing up around that time and hearing these sounds coming up, obviously hearing Eminem and then Proof is your cousin. We had Bizarre in here, I think like a month and a half ago, man.
Okay.
And he talked about the loss of Proof obviously, and how that impacted the whole group and stuff like that. And obviously being related to him, it must have been like really painful to go through that. And man, obviously when he was on the come up at the same time. Yeah,
it was hard, man. Like when we stayed on Stopel, like his mama Pepper who passed away, we stayed like up and down. Like it was a 2-family flat. So they stayed downstairs, and like my mom would like watch him. Like when Pepper would go to the store, you know what I'm saying, Auntie Pepper would go to the store, my mom would watch him and shit. So like my whole life, like I knew Proof. And it was so funny, like when people like, yeah, you know, Proof was the reason why M got on. Like I just knew that as my cousin, and I knew he was dope, and I knew he could rap. But when it was like connected, and then like I was seeing him like on MTV, and he did the big performance with M and the 100 Slim Shadys and shit, I'm like, wow. I'm like, this shit is bigger than what I thought.
Yeah.
Because he was regular cuz. When he came home, he was just Proof. It wasn't like, yeah, I'm Proof for M. It was just, I'm regular Proof.
Yeah.
And that was the beautiful thing about him, man. Detroit and, you know, us as a family, like we lost such a gem. He was such a light. He was a beautiful person.
At that time, were you on the radar with music?
I wasn't. Like he, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so funny because like he always knew I could sing. So he'd be like, yo, I'm going to put you in front of M, man. Shit, I'm going to have M sign you. Like, you know, just talk shit. You know, he was a shit talker. So I'm going to have M sign you, you know, and then, you know, I'll be excited. And then, you know, they'd go out on tour, go overseas, and then it'd be, you know, of course, you know, this shit just kind of fall through the cracks or whatever. But I feel like if he had survived, he definitely would have put me in front of M for sure.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
And that
man.
would have been dope.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, like you already did a lot though, but without having to need that, but just to know that experience was there and that family had that music in them too is like
definitely
obviously inspiring, right? I'm pretty sure it probably inspired you like to think like my cousin did it, therefore I have a chance of doing this shit too.
Was family, and it's like you looking on MTV and seeing him, and he's M right hand man, and they like M got him on the side, like he's like, this my best friend.
Exactly.
And he's, you know, to me he's considered one of the greatest rappers of all time. So it's like for him to go on TV and say that damn near killed him, like he wanted to kill himself when his best friend died, and that's my family. Like that just shows you the impact of what Proof had, you know, in everybody's life. Like if it hadn't been for Proof, M wouldn't have rapped.
Right, exactly. That is insane, man.
Yeah,
that's literally insane to think about.
Sure.
So, growing up and seeing and having inspiring influences around you and stuff like that, and there being a scene, it's just not. It's underground,
right.
And like the record labels aren't signing anybody from Detroit,
right?
Which is obviously like probably not the like, you know, motivating for you on that end. But
exactly.
What age did you decide to turn the switch on and say, okay, well, it's time to get this music going?
Man, like real hardcore. Like I was like 8 years old, and I told my mom, like I want to sing. Like I don't want to go to college. I don't want to do none of that shit. I want to sing. And she got behind me and started putting me in different talent shows, whatever. Man, funny story. I had brought up Rashad Morgan. Ray. He had the song "Tell Them What They Want to Hear." I don't know if you ever heard that. But he's a dope R&B singer from here too. He's like my brother. But I tried out for his group, the Biv 10 Pee-wees. Like this how hard my mom was pushing me. Back then I'm kind of chubby. I had like my little baby weight on me and shit. So it was Michael Bivens and he had like the Biv 10 Pee-wees. 2 guys from here were in it. It was Rashad Morgan and Antoine from Day 26. And so we were going to an audition, man, and I went and I didn't fucking get in. It was heartbreaking, but like my mom was just pushing me so hard to just keep going and shit. And as I got older, I started polishing my gift up more and just singing more. And then I ended up having a chance meeting with another female rapper from here. She doesn't rap no more. Her name was Lil Ma, and she was doing spot dates with Lil Romeo, and that's how I got connected with No Limit. Cause I'm like, fuck this. If we on the show with No Limit, I'm going for broke. Like I gotta meet them. You know what I'm saying? We're on the show. I gotta meet Lil Romeo and I gotta meet Master P. Yo, Master P not coming on none of the dates. Well, whatever. Whoever closest to him, I'm gonna meet him. But he ended up coming to the last date. And I'm like, yo, I gotta sing for you. Fuck all that. Let me sing for you. And man, the rest is history. It happened.
So you
fast.
just got lucky on that last day that he appeared.
I got lucky. He came. Like it was just, I'm talking about pure luck that he came through the door and I seen him. I'm like, oh shit! Like before we leave this arena, I gotta sing for him. And I ran into Anthony Boswell, which is his best friend. And I'm like, yo, I want to sing for P or whatever. He's like, what? You want to sing for P? Well, sing for me then. And I sung for him, and he like, oh shit, yeah, you gotta sing for P. So as soon as he's available, I'm gonna have him sing. And I sung for him. And he was like, wow, bro, like, you got it.
Yeah.
You know, he like, give me your number or whatever. He like, you got any music? Mind you, we stand in the same hotel as him. Let me tell everybody watching, when you really want this shit, you gonna do whatever. We had called, me and my cousin, this shit like a movie. We faked called, like, yo, we were Universal. You know what I'm saying? My cousin had a D voice. I'm Universal. My name is Peter, blah, blah, blah. And we need to know the rooms that we put Master P and Lil Romeo in. They gave us all the fucking rooms. I'm like, now what if we had been fucking killers or something? Like, yo, like, shit was wild. Fuck? They gave us every room. So it was like 5 rooms. And I put my demo through underneath all the doors.
Genius.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so he was like, yo, you got any music? I'm like, listen. I ain't telling what we did, but I'm like, listen, y'all rooms at the hotel has all my CDs underneath them. And when they went back, they listened to my shit. They called me that night. Yeah. And was like, yo, your shit that we heard on the CD was amazing, man. We got to meet up. So they got my address. And like maybe in about a week, they sent me a contract.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
It happened fast.
Obviously you were nervous as hell when you sung in front of him.
I was.
Yeah, but you were still hitting the notes and just getting through.
Of course, yeah, because I knew what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? And I knew I wanted to change my life and attempt to change my mom's life and my pops and shit. So
yeah, man, no, it's insane. Like for me, I don't know. I see people doing that. I see people freestyling in front of rappers and they try, and I just never believe it could happen, but it can happen.
It can.
Like you can get in front of the right person and do something, and they might just be like, okay, let's do something.
Yes.
And that happened for you with one of the greatest influences in hip hop ever, like literally in history. So where does it go from there? So you leave the tapes under the door, and then they sign you for a contract. What was the contract like when you were looking over it? Who was with you, and like how did the process go?
At that time, he ain't my lawyer no more, but he's still a good friend of the family. His name was Philip Reagan. He was my lawyer, and he looked over the contract, and it was a good standard contract. Like this, my thing. Like a lot of times, I think people, especially artists from here, I think they shoot themselves in the foot because we keep trying to go for like that
$1 million.
That $1 million, that Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston deal. Listen, I'm telling every artist right now, just get in the door. I'm not saying sign a slave deal or nothing like that, but I am saying get in the door. You want to be on the other side of the door. And that was my whole goal. He told me, like, this ain't the best deal. Listen, I just want to be down. I know how to work. I know how to prove myself, you know what I'm saying, make myself valuable. So I was willing to do that. Like I said, the advance was cool. It wasn't a lot of money, you know what I'm saying? It was some thousands, but it wasn't of course what nobody really wants, you know what I'm saying? Maybe $20,000-$25,000,
but it gets you a foot in the door.
Yes.
And you're connected to,
correct,
a legend.
Correct.
So, you know what I mean? It's at the end of the day, it's a good decision, right?
And I was 16 doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that just shows you how much I studied the game. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, shit, I just want to be on. They ain't letting Detroit in. I need to get in.
What was the process like? So you get signed. What's like the first days like?
The first days, we was in the studio 16, 17 hours. Like Master P is a workaholic. So if you're around them, you're not just bull crapping and sitting around, or they'll send you home. Like I signed the contract. Just an example of a day. I signed the contract on like a Tuesday. Like maybe like Thursday or Friday, he sent tickets for me to come down to Houston. They had a big house in Houston, and then like the entire upstairs was a studio. Like I'm talking about like state of the art. like how Rural House is here.
Yeah.
He had that shit in his house. That just show you how much paper he had. It was the entire second floor, and he was like, "Yo, like we working." As soon as I landed off the plane, I ain't even get a chance to take a nap. He like, "Yo, we working," and we doing a bunch of records. Romeo had a record actually with B2K called Play Like Us. And so I was in there with the producer. They had left and did some other shit like on TV or whatever. So I was with the producer. I'm like, play the record again. So he played it. It was B2K. Now this is at the height of when B2K was hot in 2000, 2001. I'm like, man, let me put myself on there. He like, yo, I don't know if he'll go for that. I'm like, let's just record a version. If he don't go for it, he don't go for it. Man, I did the same shit, and I heard B2K saying their name in the record. I said my name too. Hold on tight, because we about to bust Richie Rich and Tyron. Can you dig it? What?
Yeah.
And man, P came back and he was like, you did that? I'm like, yeah. Who told you to do that? Nobody. I was just in here working. I love it. Let's put it on the record. Let's put it on the album. Romeo came. He loved it. About a week later, we filmed the video. Man, shit, a month later, we was on 106 & Park.
Legendary.
106 & Park. And it went #1 within the first few days.
Wow, man.
My family was going crazy. Like, yo, you're on 106 & Park. It's on.
Yeah, that's legendary, man. Yeah. That's legendary. That's so cool. So when you're getting into the studio, do you feel like you're one of the only artists there, or how does it feel? Like, what's the unit like that you're working with when you're up in his studio?
At that point, he had Beats by the Pound, and they were dope. They were literally giving us maybe like 40 or 50 beats a day. So you just like going through beats, and you know what I'm saying, P definitely was hands-on with everything. He'd pick some stuff, Romeo would pick some stuff, and we just,
so it's literally you, P, and Romeo? Yes.
Silk would come sometime, when he wasn't busy doing his thing. So that means
like this opportunity that you had where you sang to him and all this. This is a very, very rare circumstance. Like, it's not something he was just doing like, oh, whoever's hot, just pull up to my studio.
No,
like,
hell no.
It's like he was very selective, and then you get to stay with Romeo and work on music together.
Yeah, they didn't even put me in the hotel. Like he operates everything like a family. Like those stories that you hear Snoop and everybody saying like he love you like a family. He do. When he bring you in, he bring you in. I stayed in his home with his kids, with his wife. At that time, he's not married no more, but like I was with them. Like they would go on different things, like to dinner and stuff like that, and they'd say, "Hey, Tyron, you want to come?" Whatever. Yeah, I come. It's no problem. Like I was really staying down there like for months at a time, like family. They end up leaving Houston and going to LA, and he called me like, "Hey, tell your mom I want to bring you to LA so you can do some work out here with Romeo, and we can work on the show and do some things behind the scenes." Like, all right, no problem. I went out there. The house that he had out there, man, he was staying next to Steve Harvey. I would see Steve Harvey every day.
You see Steve Harvey every day?
Yes, every day, bro.
Ridiculous.
Every day he would come out and say hello to us, and then we'd leave. And man, Master P had like maybe 10 cars in the front of his house. I'm talking about Ferraris, Bugattis, all that. Like he really was about that. It wasn't none of that rented. Master P really was about that.
Man, that's insane. So you went from Detroit and the slumps to you're living lavish with Master P and
it was a beautiful thing, and it went on for about 2 years, but after a while, like I just saw like, you know, I was really my career wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. So we just decided to part ways. It was nothing like on no.
Did you get to make any money or anything while you were out there?
I did. We actually we did a big Nickelodeon tour. It was me, Romeo, 3LW, and Nick Cannon.
All right, hold on, man. I have to push this next interview back a little bit. Fuck that. Fuck that.
This is legendary for me, man. Thank you so much for having me on your show, brother.
I didn't know how legendary this was gonna be, man. I'm here like, bro, I'm like a true hip hop like fan, bro. Like, so hearing like this history and hearing that you went through it and everything like that, man, I'm just fucking excited to keep listening to you. Like, this is like more fun for me than anything in the world. Okay, I had to push that forward. Let's get back to that, man. That was okay. So Nickelodeon, man. So talk about that experience. Just talk about that experience,
man.
So
Nickelodeon is like, of course, like loaded. Like they gave us like everything. They gave us tour buses and everything. And that was like my first tour, maybe like a month after signing with P. Cause he's like, yo, I know you want to make some money, so like I'm gonna put you on this tour with Romeo. He didn't even go into details. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, I'm gonna put you on the tour with Romeo. Like he was very adamant on making sure everybody was straight. So I was like, all right, no problem. He like, yeah, just tell your mom, you know, we gonna take care of everything as far as like your schooling and stuff. We'll call the school, we'll set it up to have tutors. I'm like, damn, like it's just like moving like this, like mind blowing. So we end up getting to the tour. So when we get on the tour, mind you, Romeo was 12 at this time, but his mind is like 21. He understands everything. You know what I'm saying? He was like really like a genius kid. Bow Wow was too. So we're going in the tour, and I never knew that 3LW or Nick Cannon was on the tour till I got there. Man, these fucking Nickelodeon tours were sold out. Like, they were doing, like, outside, like, amphitheaters, like how the Aretha Franklin is here, the Shane Park. I'm talking about 6,000, 7,000 kids, like, every night.
Man.
Every night.
Nickelodeon was huge, man.
It was.
I was watching that every night. Yeah.
I was, too. And shout out to Nick Cannon. Listen, Nick Cannon money been long, a long time. Our first like meeting, like he invited everybody like downstairs. We were staying at the Soho Hotel in New York.
Okay.
He invited everybody downstairs to have dinner. And he was like sitting at the head of the table. He paid for everybody.
Man.
And he was a kid then. Like, I'm 36. He's not that much older than me.
Yeah.
He was young as hell. He paid for everybody.
Man.
And but I will say this. I literally think he was talking to like all the 3LW girls. Cause like they didn't say nothing to none of us. Like, I was like, and they only was talking to Nick. I'm like, hold on. Like, I'm like, dude, I think these are his girlfriends. But
yeah,
it goes to his legend right now where he's like, yo, I got kids. I got women. This is what I do. So shout out Nick Cannon. He was a player a long time.
For sure. I mean, it shows, like you said, it's evident in what's going on with him right now. I think he has like 15 kids or something like that. It's wild out there for the boy. But no, so you got to experience being with all these legends and stuff like that and being incorporated with Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Hold up. So did you get to meet like Keenan and Kel or anything like that?
I did. Now, we did do all that. Like I said, all this is documented. You can, you know what I'm saying, look it up on YouTube, whatever. We did do all that, but we didn't meet them. Like, it was like really like an in and out thing. We went, we performed, and then we left.
So all that was, the performance was for all that too?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
It was for all that. We did Soul Train. Now, we met Don Cornelius. He was cool. He was cool. You know, he was older, you know, just an OG. At that time, before he died, he was worth $500 million. So he was like,
damn, I didn't know that.
Oh, man. Yeah. Don Cornelius, Soul Train, man.
I didn't know it was 500 million.
500 mil. Yeah, so he was cool with us. He's like, how y'all doing? Have a good show, whatever. And we kind of, you know, on Soul Train, you lip sync. So it was fun.
Now, when you get to, so Romeo and Lil Bow Wow, I'm not too familiar. I know who they are, obviously, but I'm saying I'm not too familiar in their relationship. Like, was it like you guys are all connected, or was were you just saying that he was out there at the same time?
No, I was just saying he was out there at the same time. So like we would see him like at certain things. Like we did the Kids' Choice Awards in 2001. And this was like my first, award show. And the gift bags that they gave us was like legendary. Like in these gift bags, we had like $500 gift cards, cell phones, like that was paid up for 2 years.
Jeez.
I'm like, what the fuck? Like I'm like, yo, like this is like really another life that I had never experienced. That was my first time even getting a gift card. Like I said, I'm from the slums, like PA, so my mom ain't buy me no gift card. You know, she give me some money, or my dad give me some money, but we out there, the Kids' Choice Awards, and getting back. Bow Wow, like walk, past us, whatever, and they were like kicking it. Like I never saw the beef that everybody was trying to push off.
Well, I'm sure they were just those media probably.
Yeah, it was bullshit because like they saw each other and they were like, "What up? What up?" They were talking, and he like, "Yeah, this my man Tyron, whatever. He signed with us. He was on the record, Play Like Us with us, whatever." He's like, "Oh yeah, I saw the video," and he gave me £1, and they kept it moving.
Yeah, it's so awesome that you got to be a part of that, man. Like,
yeah, it was.
That's
a blessing.
really, really freaking awesome.
Thank you.
What was there a highlight experience for you throughout that part of those years?
Man, it was just me being able to do what I love to do. I was so humbled and happy that I could just live my dream and be from Detroit.
Yeah.
And be able to show people, that was under me and over me, like, we can do it. We can make it from Detroit.
Yeah.
Because it's a stigmata of our city that like we ain't shit, we can't do it. Like, but that's whack. Because from what I see some of the most talented rappers and singers in the world.
Man, not only that, but just the personalities in Detroit. Like, I've been doing this thing where I just vlog my experiences, like going through Detroit and all that, and like a lot of people like recognize me and stuff, so it's like really easy to engage with people.
Right.
But there's so much like the humor, like the comedy, and everybody just knows the timing. It's almost like you're walking into some entertainment when you go into Detroit.
Yes.
Like people just understand it. And sometimes I'll be like, some rappers need to be comedians and some comedians need to be rappers. Like that's my mentality too. Like, so it just shows you how much talent's really out here.
Yes.
But obviously throughout that time, there was like nobody knowing what the hell's going on here.
Nobody.
Like nobody's even, all we had was at that time, 2001, Eminem was probably the most significant thing we had.
Right. Like we was talking, on the DM, and I was saying like, I was the first black male R&B artist to have a deal. Like first, after Aaliyah. It was Aaliyah, then it was me.
Okay.
And all of the people that got deals after me, I knew. I knew Big Sean in passing. I didn't know him like, this is my homie. But Tia Marie, Rashad Morgan, who got a deal with T.I., Tia Marie got a deal with Jay-Z. Tone got the deal with Jazzy Faye. I know them personally. I went to school with Tia Marie. Rashad Morgan is one of my closest buddies. We talk all the time. Tone is like my bro. Like we came up the ranks together, like doing shows. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, man.
Like it was an honor, like I said, to be the first young guy since Aaliyah to have a deal, and to see all my friends get one.
So technically,
like
you're the first male then, because if Aaliyah got it, then you're
the first male. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you're technically the first male artist, the R&B artist that got signed. That's pretty wild.
Yeah. Going into the 2000s, because people get technical, like, kiddo, that's not true. In 1987, I had my. No, I'm talking about 2000 on. You can research it, you can look it up. I was the first one from our city to have a deal, and then it went.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the R&B though too. Like, I don't really know if anybody hit that stature with R&B from Detroit. I know I'm not that familiar with R&B scene to know like how many Detroit artists got signed. But you mentioned Dre Sconey earlier, and that's one person I do pay attention to because he's literally following like the blueprint of becoming a standout artist, not only in Detroit but like mainstream. Like just cut to the chase. Let's get to the shit. Like I'm talented. I want high quality productions at all times.
Of course,
I want people to take me seriously. Like there's no bullshit in between. Are you seeing any other artists like that in Detroit right now that have that?
Man, listen, like I said, that's why I gave them their flowers in the beginning. Like, man, I like TJ Upshaw. It's a guy, the Black Knight, and this is my boy. We've been talking regularly recently because I want to do a record with him. His name is Akinelli, and if
Akinelli?
What's
his name?
Akinelli, and if I pronounce your name wrong, bro, please forgive me.
Are you talking about Activelli?
Is it Activelli? I don't know if it's Activelli. They call him the Black Knight. He got a record out called Sex Chronicles.
I never heard
Sex Chronicles and Sex Chronicles 2. He's amazing. He's a beast. Like he writes, produces, arranges. He does the Roger vocoder shit. Like he is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? TJ Upshaw. I love Brielle Leslie. I think she's dope. It's a girl named Jody. They're over in the camp, the Live TMG camp. Shout out to D Slate. He's a producer. But he has like this stable of artists, Jody, Lover Boy. Like these people here are fucking amazing.
Yeah, man, and that's why it's so crazy to talk to you, because it kind of, well, see, it's a completely different times, obviously, right? But you went through it during the hardest times. Now coming through to like 2001, obviously you're accomplishing a lot. Where do you go after Nickelodeon?
After Nickelodeon, we did well, we were supposed to do a cruise with Tom Joyner, but it didn't happen. It was like a cruise to Disney. And coming into 2001, like Pete actually like kind of fell out with Universal, so like that shit started getting rocky. So he had like a round table, like like a mob meeting with all of us. Like, yo, whoever want to stay, you can stay. If you want to leave, you can leave. And I'm not gonna take it personal. You know, I'm going through a lot with Universal, and I'm probably about to part ways with them. You know, Universal was the biggest distribution at that time. I think they still are, but they definitely were at that time. And so I decided to leave because like it was some things with my career that I wasn't really agreeing with, with it going further or whatever. So I just kind of decided to strike out on my own. But like I said, not on bad blood. I love them to this day. You know, we still got love for each other, and this, it was just a business move.
Right on. So what steps did you take now that you're independent after that?
Well, after that, like, it was, I damn sure went back to school. My mom was like, well, if you ain't doing nothing with back to school, you fucking go. So I went back to school. I finished school. I went to DSA Aaliyah school. Okay. I graduated in 2004. And then after that, I had a full ride to Lemoyne for music. That's like a Southern college. Oprah is really, really like back in that school. And I had a full ride, and I had that choice where I could go to New York with one of my good friends and kind of just grind it out. And I was like, fuck school, I'm going to grind it out.
Right.
So I moved to New York with no money.
Yeah.
It was fucked up for about 6 months. Like it was thugging. We was eating chopped cheese. Shout out Fabio, them niggas talk about that chopped cheese. Listen, that chopped cheese got me through some nights. You hear me? Like for real, the chopped cheese, the pastrami sandwiches on the hot bread, like man. And then he ended up knowing, like New York is like connected, like everybody knows somebody. So he ended up knowing somebody that knew Alicia Keys, and that kind of like opened up the door for me to meet them and start writing for MBK. Like man, my life was in a lot of different places. Yeah. I learned how to write songs from Mario Wanis. That's one of my great friends. Mario, who's with Puff.
Yes.
He's, like I said, definitely been a mentor and like a big brother to me. To this day, we talk all the time. Yeah. And he taught me how to write songs, like the correct structure of songs. First verse, chorus, second verse, you know what I'm saying, vamp, B section and shit. And it was just amazing. Like that I was in New York meeting all these different people and just learning, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes situations was coming close, but nothing never really signed off, But it didn't bother me because I was definitely honing my craft and getting it to where it needed to get to at this point. So now I can reemerge and I can relaunch myself and be the best version of me that I can be.
When you're out in New York, obviously nobody knows who you are when you initially get there, right?
Right.
But does portfolio help at that point, or do you still have to kind of go? Okay, so it helped a lot.
Portfolio helped a lot, but then it was more so people, especially in the industry, they don't want to know what you did before. They want to know what you're doing now. So it was like, let me just show you what I can do. And so I was in the studio writing records, arranging records, and just showing people, you know what I'm saying, my skill, my chop. Well, in music we call it your chops.
Yes.
Showing people your chops and just letting them know that I really do this shit.
Oh, for sure, man. Yeah. So you went through the grind, even though you already had established yourself. You already built this major portfolio, but now it's like, okay, start from ground zero.
Yes.
But it helps a lot to have that background, right?
Yeah, and my thing is, it's cool from listen, I've literally started from ground zero multiple times, you know what I'm saying? But it's cool because every time you start from ground zero, you're continuing to learn, you're continuing to evolve, and become a better you and a better artist in the perspective of everything.
For sure, 100%, and it probably humbles you a lot too.
It do, definitely.
Yeah, and I bet you if you had social media, if social media existed at that time, it would have been completely different.
It would have been crazy.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that, man. Talk about the advantages and disadvantages of what social media presents, because you went through the rough ride where literally everything is word of mouth and TV. Now it's like it's in your hand now. Yeah,
I think the advantages of it is definitely what us as R&B people need to tap into more is just the visualization. I feel like rappers have mastered that here, from Sada to Payroll, Peasy, and all the other great rappers here, Cash Style. Like they've mastered being able to be in front of social media. And that's a great advantage. But I think the disadvantage is showing too much. Like, I feel like if it's not business, don't fucking put it on the internet.
I just learned that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like for real. Like, I get it, if you want to show your man or you want to show your girl and shit, but the people that you're trying to appeal to, your fans, they don't really care about that.
Yeah.
They care about the art, the material, and just show your shit.
I think Dr. Dre had my favorite quote about that. He said, rappers are destroying their mystique because they're presenting themselves at every moment of the day.
Correct.
And I believe that because I remember when I was a kid, I had a way different feeling towards artists than I do now. Like now, my favorite artist, I'm like, oh damn, so you're brushing your teeth right now, no cap. Like, all right.
Yeah, no, for real. Like,
like 10 years
and
ago.
R&B people too. Like you couldn't just turn on Instagram and find what Michael was doing. That's why Michael was so big. You're like, oh shit, he's on MTV. I'm about to turn. I'm not going to school today. My mom's sick. I want to watch Michael Jackson. Now it's like everybody, yeah, yo, this is Marianne. I'm doing my face, baby. You know, I'm unbothered. Like, no, that's cool, but it's just like I feel less is more with social media.
Facts. I agree with that too.
Sometimes they can destroy you.
Yeah, because I don't really like. I'm not really popping anybody's album and just listening all the way through like I used to. Like before, when there was that mystique, that mysteriousness, like Eminem dropped the tape or something like that.
You listen to
everything. I don't even know. And I don't even know. Like, oh, where's this guy? Where is he at? Where's he doing? And not knowing made the music better. And not knowing, but now he still is like that. But other artists, like they present themselves so much, I don't even care anymore. I'm like, bro, I don't. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know what your life is now so much I don't really care, but you're right. I learned that the hard way too. I was posting too much stuff about myself, and then I was like, bro, people aren't really fucking with this. They just like when I put out good quality content. Like, fuck everything else. Just put out good quality.
Everything else, when you put out content about this and what you're doing business-wise, you get 5,000 likes, 6,000 likes. The shit when you just, hey, I'm in my bed, I just brushed my hair. Man, that shit do 2 likes. They don't care.
Yeah, you're right. You sang in front of Master P, but also you had the opportunity to see Jeezy, which is obviously like he comes around Detroit a lot. I don't know if you know, like obviously you probably do know, like he's really moving around here a lot too. Talk about the experience with engaging with him.
Jeezy was a very humble guy. Like he gives off, like I said, the street. And when I dealt with him in 2009, like, you know, he still was like heavy street. He wasn't married with Jenny at this time, no kids. His son was a teenager. He was thugging, but he was such a humble dude. And he saw something in me to have me do background for him on the America's Most Wanted tour.
Oh, wow.
It was him. Lil Wayne was headlining, Soulja Boy, Pleasure P. It was dope. We did like maybe 50 cities.
Wow.
And everybody in the band, like he had a live band, and I was the only background. He paid for everything. Like the hotels he was staying at, he had us there too.
Wow.
He's like, whatever y'all want, just let me know. He paid us, and he gave us a per diem. You know,
what's that?
So a per diem is like something if you're on tour, like the promoter's supposed to do, but Jeezy did it out his own pocket.
They pay you basically?
Yes, like so. No, they already pay you. Like he was paying us one amount, but the per diem is like just so you can eat like during the week.
Oh, okay, cool.
Right. Per day.
Okay, cool.
But he was giving it to us like per week. So like in our contract, it was like the per diem was like $400 a week.
Yeah.
So I'm like, shit, I ain't gonna eat up no fucking $400 of food a week, man. Some of this shit going in my pocket, you know. But he didn't care because it was like this is what he was paying us. On top of, at the end of every week, we were just getting direct deposits of the money from the show.
Wow.
And he paid us very, very well.
Awesome.
So Jeezy was a great, great guy. He still is too.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. That's awesome. So did you get to spend time with all the artists on stage, or is it?
No, I did. Soulja Boy, he's a funny guy. Like, you know, he's just a
viral person.
Yeah, and he's been like that before. Like the YouTube and all that shit took over. Like he just always just out in the open and y'all want to come on my bus and chill and stuff like that. He was very, very
So you had a relationship with him before the tour?
Yeah, he was very, very humble. You know what I'm saying? So like when we was on tour, he was just like, yo, like, you killed it out there singing, man. What's up? Let's go get some food. Let's go do this. And he was the type, he didn't even want security around. He just wanted to just go himself. He jump in the Ferrari, jump in the Bentley, and just go. Yeah,
Soulja Boy was probably the first person to go viral on the internet as a rapper.
Yes.
I think so.
He was.
Because he's probably the first rapper to make it because of the internet, for sure.
Right.
And I think that's why a lot of people come on my show and say I'm the first. It's literally because I think he goes viral doing it. So like everybody's like, let me get that shine too. So he innovated being the first person to go viral, so it motivated everybody else to be the first to go viral.
No, for sure. And then we from Detroit, so we want to say anything that's gonna put us in the frame of going, you know, like you said, viral or just being big. But the only thing is, like you said, with the internet, now people can prove it. So I ain't gonna get on here, y'all. I want y'all to know out there in the world, I ain't gonna get out here and say nothing that's not real. Everything I say, you could Google that shit.
The funny part is, though, a lot of people who come on here saying that they were the first, some of them actually like backed it up later. Like I was like, oh shit, you really were. Like the dude who said he was on Oprah, everybody's like cap, and then he sent me the videos. I was like, oh shit.
Oh, so he really was.
He was on Oprah.
Wow.
And there was a lot of other dudes, like this dude Fiji who said he did all these tours and touched 1 million and stuff. Like he sent me all all the pictures after. He's like, bro, I did do all that shit. I was like, I don't accuse nobody of lying.
Right.
But it's like the audience always assumes like this is all cap. But a lot of people prove that they were the first. But anyway, man, back to you. Did you get a chance to talk to Lil Wayne? Did you get a chance to like really?
Lil Wayne is like really elusive. Like I met him, like he came in the hotel one time, and it was so crazy because he's such like an icon. Like the hotel that we were staying at, I don't know if they dropped it on his website at that time, like, yo, he gonna come inside the hotel. But man, it had to be about 10,000 girls like in the lobby. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what's happening? Now Drake was on this tour, right?
Okay.
Drake was nobody at this time. All he had was the best I ever had, and he had just like broke his leg. So he's on stage limping, cause you held me down. Everybody like, oh, whatever, where's Wayne? You know what I'm saying? Now he's the biggest shit in the world.
Yeah.
But Lil Wayne like came in the hotel, like it was crazy. It was like Michael Jackson. They were jumping over tables, breaking the tables. They broke vases. It was wild.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like, so he stayed elusive. Like, I guess he didn't really want people to kind of be around him or whatever. But like when he saw us, like one time he came and watched us do sound check, and he showed us love. He like, y'all dope. He told the band in the background, whatever, like, y'all dope, man. Keep doing what y'all doing. And that was it. But other than that, nah, he don't talk to people like that.
That's cool. So, did you get a chance to talk to Drake before he was famous?
I did. Listen, let me tell you, everybody out there, the same way Drake is now is how he was in 2009. He was a perfect gentleman. Yeah. He was getting out. I would never forget this. He was getting out. He had a cardigan on. It was like a purple cardigan with, I want to say maybe like some cargo shorts. And he had on like some fresh ass dunks. And I was like, hey, how you doing? My name is, at this time, it wasn't T.Y., it was Tyron. My name is Tyron. He's like, how you doing? My name is Drake, you know, and I rap, I'm doing my thing. I'm like, I know who you are. He's like, oh, okay, for real? Like, he was shocked I knew he was. I'm like, yeah, you got the best I ever had. You had this so far gone. She's like, yeah. He's like, damn, I appreciate that, man. Thank you, man. What do you say? You sing? Yeah, I sing. All right, bet. All right, you already saw? I said, yeah, well, we went on before Wayne. I said, so you won't see me? Like, damn. He's like, well, next show, I'm going to come see you. And he really was like by the stage, like looking at Jeezy's show. Cool. And he's like, yo, I heard you out there singing. Yo, you was killing that shit. Like, he's a really, really, really cool guy.
Legendary, man. Legendary. So yeah, you were just surrounded by talent at all times. You know
man. It was a blessing, man.
Yeah, and being talented yourself, being a part of it just shows like. So let me ask you this, like, as far as reciprocation and acknowledgement, and as far as where your status is now as an artist, do you feel like you're at where you want to be at, or do you feel like
I'm definitely not where I want to be at, you know? And it's I think it's more so of an up and down thing, man. The R&B shit, like, I'm telling you, I've quit like a million times. I ain't gonna even lie to you. You know what I'm saying? And I've went through every emotion with it. But the thing about it is, and I live by this quote, in order to get something that you never had, you gotta do something you never did. So now I'm rebranding myself, rebuilding myself, and just coming into my own and just really, really laser focused on being the best that I can be. And a lot of doors are starting to open up, so I'm thankful for that.
Oh, for sure, man. Yeah.
But I'm definitely not where I want to be.
No, yeah, it's tough, obviously. Are you able to sustain yourself, like, monetarily?
Oh, yeah.
Because of all the past stuff? Okay, cool. Yeah. So it's going to be a little bit easier to maneuver, obviously. It's not like you're starting from ground zero financially as far as artistry is concerned.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, man, you've achieved a lot.
Thank you, bro.
Obviously, it's just crazy because it really makes people realize, like, what it was to be successful at that time isn't what it is now. There's two completely different things.
Two different monsters. You know what I'm saying?
And I like how you said you don't have to sign the $1 million deal. Like, you can sign with somebody, because a lot of people come on here saying don't sign contracts, don't sign with a label, don't do this, don't that.
And I respect how they feel. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of friends that's independent, but for me, I just feel like it's a certain, you know, and it was so funny how you brought up Dre. You know, his saying that he had said, Jim Jones was just on Breakfast Club. He was saying how, yo, like, I get everybody wanting to be independent, but it's certain places that the label going to take you that you just can't take yourself.
Exactly. It's like signing to Shark Tank. It's like Shark Tank might give you a bad deal, but 1 million people are going to see your product, and you got access to people you never would have had access to.
Correct.
But obviously be smart with it. Now talk about meeting Marvin Gaye, man.
So his son, we did in 2019. I was asked to do the Marvin Gaye musical Pride and Joy, and that was like a 12-city tour. off Broadway, but it was still dope. Like we sold out every night. So his son, Marvin Gaye III, was very, very hands-on with it, and he was such a great person. Like he came because I did background, and I also did like some acting on the stage, and he was very cool. He was very.
What do you
humble.
mean acting?
So as well as singing and writing, I act too. So I did like just some acting. It was based on Marvin Gaye's life. Okay. So I did I played some people like from back in the 60s, the Motown days, like some of the
Are you still do you still act right now?
Yeah, I do.
Is there any feature films you've been a part of?
No, I actually just signed on to be in a TV show called Caesar and Ronan. Yeah.
What's that all about?
So it's actually like a street drama. I want to say a mixture of The Wire and Power. It's very, very.
Is it like
dope.
real deal production type shit?
Yes, it's real deal production.
Shit. What did you ever think about getting on the BMF series or anything like that?
I did, but it was like I wanted my people that was already doing it just to go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I knew, shout out to Cash Doll. I knew she was doing her thing with it. And
shout out to Cash Doll. No cap.
Yeah, that's his baby. Look,
that's somebody got to ask if you met Cash Doll.
No, I never met her.
Okay.
But it would be an honor to meet you. You know what I'm saying? Come on Kid L show when we'll all meet and talk politics. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
So BMF, no, that's a dope show, but I got a lot of homies that definitely tried out and are on that show. But Caesar and Ronan, shout out to the writer and the director. His name is Sean Lyric Williams, and dude, we got some stuff. I play a character named Knight, and Knight is like a killer, a psycho. Yeah, he's like Marlo and Lamar mixed in together. Very smart, but like blow your shit back, like for real.
Can you talk about that at all, or is it still behind the scenes?
No, it's cool.
So being a part of these productions and being on these series and stuff like that, man, what's the times like? Like, how taxing is it to be a part of these productions?
It really depends on like when you're shooting. Like for me, I'm one of the main characters, but I'm not the main character. So, like if they'll send you a schedule, like when you got to shoot, so they might say, shit, you got to shoot in the evening from 6 to 11. Like this is when we're going to do your scenes. And they'll
like,
kind of
like the 6 to 11, like 5 hour shoot, or like a whole day type thing.
Like a 5 hour shoot, because at this point they're just shooting scenes with me. So any scene that concern me and maybe like the main character, they'll shoot it. Okay. And they'll shoot all my shit, and then they'll piece it together how they do. You know? Right on. That's their thing in production. But I just learn the lines, dress the part, and go out and do what I got to do. Cool. But it's definitely gonna be good, man. Like I said, right now they're having meetings with Hulu, so that's looking pretty good.
For sure. No, that's cool as hell, man. Yeah, the acting, especially in Detroit right now, everybody's getting into productions and movies and really getting out there with all the aspects of the entertainment avenue.
Shout out to all the people that's doing movies in Detroit. I see all of y'all.
Yeah, man. Everybody's really, really pushing all that. It's really cool to see, man, because it was supposed to happen like 10 years ago. And then like some tax bullshit happened.
Nah, it was. They were building like buildings here and shit, but then it went bad.
Yeah, and now they're. I mean, hopefully it happens like big time. But everybody's kind of independently doing it, which is really cool.
That's dope too. Yeah.
But my problem with it is like I'm not gonna say anything because I don't want to get you in trouble, because I feel like if I say anything and you're here, then they're gonna be like, oh wait a minute, like does he agree? But y'all need to step it up a little bit, because once I start making movies in here, it's over. All I gotta say is it's over, bro. Like a lot of stuff that's happening out here. Like, see, that's the thing I appreciate about careers like yours is that like you can't get there by any bullshit. Yeah, you can't. You can't take major steps and be like any part of it's whack or off, or like, you know, you didn't put all of yourself into it. And I feel like a lot of people, like with social media especially, like people are just bullshitting their way through. And it's like, I don't want to be like that. So when I'm talking to somebody like you, it inspires me even more, because I know like, all right, I need to start taking myself more seriously, because I need to get to bigger avenues that are going to put me in bigger places, to have a bigger platform and be able to do bigger productions that are more meaningful and a little, like, for lack of a better words, professional.
Yeah, like, but I mean, I already see that in you. That's why, like I said, I reached out to you. You definitely have a light, and it's illuminating, my brother. And I feel like you're going to be definitely one of the biggest podcasters, and you know, like you say, if you want to do some movies, I see all that shit with you. I appreciate that, man. And that's why I reached out to you, me and my partner, and I just see it. So I would rather you know what I'm saying, deal with you in a very organic way as opposed to, you know, everybody coming, hey, yo, kid, yeah, you was just with Drake, and so I said, man, at that point, it's too big. I'm letting y'all know now, when Kid do something with Drake, it's too late. It is, like, if you like, for real, nothing was the same. If you're watching this, it's too late. If he doing something with Drake, come on, you blew it.
No, I appreciate that. It's
the truth.
I appreciate, man. I know you guys brought me. I always tell people, man, if you want to really get the keys with me, man, you bring me some clothes, man. Let me check this out. What do we got here today, man?
Yeah, so that's fully funded. That's
fully funded, incorporated. I appreciate.
So that's my label, man. So
fully funded, incorporated. Talk about your label a little bit, man.
So fully funded, incorporated. It's really just me. It's me and my partner. You know, my partner in crime, Wayne, and it's just me because, like you said, with the independent thing, like. I just wanted to have it already in the chamber. Like, we know I just went in the chamber. Just in case when we do go to the label, they're like, okay, your shit fire, whatever. And then a little bit down the line, they say, hey, yo, is there anything else you want to do? Because that's how labels do. A lot of people, if y'all don't know that, like, once you hot, they don't give a damn about none of that stuff unless you winning. You can say you dope all day, but until you're winning, then that's when you're putting points on the board. So once you put points on the board, after that, it's been proven. 50 said it. Jay said it, everybody. After that, they come back and say, hey, what else you want to do? You want to act? You want to write? You want to do a label? Yeah, I got a label. You know what I'm saying? It's already just happening in the tuck. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, I want to do a label, but let me go get the name together and let me go think, and then I'll come back. Hell no, it's already together. Yeah. Just cut the check. How much you saying you cut for me? I'll give you $10 million for it. All right, here you go. Beautiful. I already got this right here.
Beautifully said, man. Before we close out, man, you've experienced so much, obviously. You got to give us that one memorable moment, man, that one moment that just sticks the hell out to you that you'll never forget going through this whole ride.
I would say the one moment that sticks out to me is when I was with my grandfather. God bless the dead. He's in the afterlife. We were at his house on Cheyenne. Like I said, my whole family was from Puritan. So if you know Puritan, you know Cheyenne is right there. We stayed on Little Field, and he was on Cheyenne. We went around the corner, and it was so dope because we had pre-filmed 106 in Park like that Monday, and they called us like, yo, the episode that you filmed with, and how about this? Even more legendary shit. This is when Free and AJ was still hosting.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was so dope. But get back to the story. So that Friday we went to my grandfather's house, and I had told him like, yo, my video is gonna world premiere on 106 in Park. And man, the video came on, man, the phone rang so much in my grandfather's house, like for real, like it damn near died. Cause you know you get the cordless phone and you gotta put it on there to charge.
Yeah, man.
Dude, man, that damn phone rang so much. I'm talking about that boy was going out like you know what I'm saying? And it was such a beautiful experience, man. My grandfather, he cried, man. He was like, damn, like my grandson, he doing this shit. And that meant so much to me. And now for him to, like I said, to be in the afterlife, you know, and so many other my family members have passed on since then. My grandmother, both my grandmothers. It's just like I just want to do them justice and just show them that like I can get back to that point. So that's my most memorable moment. My grandfather seeing me on national TV, seeing me on the show being interviewed by AJ and Free, and then our video being debuted. Man, and it went number one like then the next 2 or 3 days. It went straight to number one.
Legendary, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Super, super legendary, man. It's been an honor having you on, man. I really didn't expect this to be this awesome. Like I felt like a student for a second, like just learning, just listening, and just being entertained too, just hearing all these awesome stories, man. Again, when you look at somebody like you, and just from what you've told me, that's what I'm trying to strive for now. Like literally, like last week, I made the decision to cut out all the bullshit and really just pay attention to creating great content and keep elevating,
of course,
and keep putting myself out there. And like you said, starting from ground zero is something you're gonna have to do. So starting on new platforms for myself, and I want to get into stand-up comedy and get into films and stuff I have no experience in, and just build from the ground to the top. And oh hell yeah! And hearing you is just like an inspiration for that.
Thank you,
like,
bro.
You went out to New York, started from ground zero, and you like rebuilt yourself, and you keep putting yourself in places and kept becoming successful at what you were doing. So it's very awesome to have you. And I hope everybody that listened to this paid attention to the little educational parts of this too as well, man. There's a lot of little gems there that I hope people check out and use that for their own career in the future. But thank you again. What projects do you guys got coming out? Is there anything you want to announce?
Well, like I said, we got the season running, the TV show. We're filming it right now, so it should be out this fall. It's a TV series. It's amazing. That's a blessing to be on there. We got new music coming out. I already have Vintage Playboy. That's my EP. It's on all digital platforms. You can go to Apple. What else? All digital platforms. It's called Vintage Playboy. Y'all could, follow me on Instagram. My name is TY. And Twitter with the real TY. And man, we got new music coming. Vintage Playboy 2. And a couple other projects coming. We just working, man. And I want to work with everybody because I know the thing is, I know everybody watches your show.
From Detroit, yeah.
Yeah, they do. You know what I'm saying? They act like they don't, but they do. So listen, all the big wigs, like I said, I'm out here. I'm stamping myself as the Detroit Nate Dogg. So anybody that need a record, like I got you.
For sure.
From Peasy to Vezo to whoever, I got y'all.
For sure. Because
y'all use the same people. I want y'all to use some different people. Start with me.
I like how you said that because that is true. A lot of them watch it. They don't tap in because when I go see them in person, that last podcast you did was my boy. Why don't you say nothing to me on social media? Why don't you hit the like or the comment button or the share button? Yeah, but it's like good to know that people are watching and stuff like that, especially from Detroit.
Even though they don't sit on, they always watching. You know what I'm saying? So
for sure,
for me. I want to let all the artists know, from one artist to all of you guys. I'm proud of all of you guys. You guys doing y'all thing, man. And I want us all to come together because once we do that, then we'll officially be number one. Right now, we're unofficially number one. But once we all come together like Houston, Atlanta, LA, we're going to be number one for sure.
Facts, man. We'll leave it on that note. We will be number one soon. We'll be number one soon as everybody starts collaborating, working together, and putting in this hard work. And as soon as these labels and stuff start putting more shine, Detroit will be number one. Thank you again so much for being a part of this, man. Look forward to seeing what we can bring out of this and seeing the career push forward even more. We're shooting at Parallel Sound Studio. High Low Visuals is shooting these productions for us. We're out. Peace.